Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Hero of Kendrickstone. Let's dive right in with what is either the penultimate or the ultimate chapter, Chapter 9, Liking the Stories. It's not until dawn that the knights are ready to ride out atop their great chargers, clad in their shining mail, their swords at their sides, and pennons flying. It's an impressive, if somewhat stupid, sight. You know that the lances and pennons will be left with the horses when they enter the forest. The pointless display is nothing more for the sake of the fools cheering this last desperate attempt than anything else. You ride in the center, protected by the knights, along with your contrite bandit guide, still clad in his black outfit, alongside. When you reach the forest, the knights dismount and tie up their horses. Dame Mildred walks up to you, helm tucked under her arm.
From here we proceed on foot. We should be able to reach the bandit camp by midday, if the mage's assurances are worth anything.
You dismount and tie up your horse. Dame Mildred and the dozen other knights in the Duke's service now stand ready behind her. If you have any last questions before proceeding into the forest, now's the time. Yeah, I have a question. There's only a dozen knights? Well, nightfall is a bad idea anyway. What's the plan? Let's just recap that. The knight shrugs.
Same as before. You and your turncoat will take the lead, and we'll follow as far behind as we can while still remaining in contact with you. That means we should be out of sight and earshot of any bandits you might run into. The last thing we want is them to catch on that you're leading us to their camp.
That makes sense. After all, as harmless as you might personally look to a gang of armed bandits, you'd certainly look threatening with a dozen armored knights right behind you.
If you make contact with any bandit sentries or patrols, the knight continues, make sure you don't let them run back to the camp to sound the alarm. Get us to within sight of the camp itself, and we'll take care of the rest. Simple enough?
You nod. Simple enough. The knight gives you a grim smile and a pointed look.
Just stick to the plan, and there shouldn't be too much trouble.
Well, looks like we're going to ask all the questions. Who's in command? The knight looks back over her shoulder, where her comrades look at each other nervously. She turns back.
Knights of Kendrickstone swear an oath not to take any orders not issued to by the Duke himself, or someone appointed as his agent.
Well, crap. You can see where this is going. Let me guess, you reply. His Grace didn't appoint one.
Duke Learfrick is an old man, Dame Mildred replies, and time was short. It must have slipped his mind.
You shake your head incredulously. So who's in charge?
The knight chews her lip for a moment. His Grace let you pick the plan, and you already bear most of the responsibility.
She looks up at you and utters the most terrifying words you've heard all year.
I guess you are.
Oh, good. It's not much further now, the guide says a half an hour later as the two of you forge through the underbrush. We should keep an eye out for sentries and patrols. You nod, your mind still on the parting words Dame Mildred offered you before you stepped into the forest.
Keep a cool head out there, she said, and remember, your decisions could mean life or death for a lot of people, us included. Don't mess it up.
With those words of encouragement, she slipped on her helm and sent you on your way. She's still behind you with the rest of the knights. You can barely see them, though the faint sound of their mail rattling reminds you that they're still fewer than 100 paces to your rear.
Hold on,
your guide suddenly whispers as he points ahead. They're right ahead of you, the bandit patrol of perhaps half a dozen men and women, all armed. You signal the knights behind you to stop and take cover. Now, you need to get the patrol out of the way before they spot the knights and report back to the camp. What's the plan? Oh, I'm gonna bluff them. We got a cloak that makes us look badass. We got a ring. We've been practicing for years. It's time to shine. You move away from where the knights are hiding before you confront the patrol. Hey, over here! The black-clad outlaws turn towards you. Who's there? One shouts. What's the password? I don't have time for this, you shout back. You know that thing that Lord Milanus told us to wait for? Well, it's here. It's moving down the road, and there are 6 guards riding escort. We're going to need some help. The bandits turn to each other, confused. One calls back, What are you talking about? Good, you've got them interested, so they're no longer wondering exactly who you are. I can explain later, you reply, trying to put anxiety and a touch of fear into your voice. If we don't hurry, we won't be able to stop it, and then Lord Milanus will flay us alive. Apparently, threats are all it takes to get them moving. As the bandits run towards you, you take off through the brush back towards the road. Hurry up and follow me, you shout, as the bandits follow. You lead them a merry chase until you're sure they're a safe distance away from both the camp and the knights. Then you hide yourself behind a tree trunk and let the bandits take off past you. From there, it's simple enough to circle back towards the knights and continue onwards. A few minutes later, you are leading the knights forward once again, when you finally see a bright sunlit stone of the ancient magic circle. The bandit camp is huddled in its shadow, not 50 paces ahead. You head back to the knights, hoping none of the bandit sentries at the camp's entrance have seen you. We're here, you report to Dame Mildred. She responds with a twitch of a smile and a brusque nod.
Well done, Isabel. Your part here is finished. It's our turn now, she says with a hint of a hunter's grin.
Are we... I'm not going to let you fight without me. I'll come with you. No, let's be a little more firm. The knight frowns.
Is that wise?
She asks. I'm technically in command, right? Don't I have a right to see this to the end? You reply. Dame Mildred sighs and nods.
So be it.
I'll have Sir Edmund stay behind and watch your guide. Stay behind our shields and don't do anything stupid. You follow Dame Mildred, joining up with the rest of the knights, save the one detailed to guard your bandit ally as they slowly creep up to the tree line.
Ready?
Mildred whispers as you get in position. You nod. As one, the knights straighten to their full height, shrugging off their long brown riding cloaks, and draw their swords. Even in the spotty light of the forest, their weapons glimmer ominously. Together, you advance at a slow walk over the uneven forest floor, until the knights before you stand arranged in a line of mail and drawn blades. You cannot help but realize that the knights you are commanding are far better equipped for the straight-up slugging match to come than you are. No time for that now, though. Now, there's only the last 24 paces to cover to get to the bandit camp, enough for one great charge, ready to be unleashed at the cry of, "Kendrickstone!" A dozen voices are raised in unison as you rush forward, carried along by the tide of steel. The bandits have all the advantages: numbers, a fortified position, bows and crossbows. But that is not nearly enough against the Knights of Kendrickstone. Within moments, the first of the mail-clad soldiers are through the open entrance to the bandit camp, sweeping the black-clad guards at the gate aside with blows of their oaken shields. Arrows and bolts fly from every direction, only to bury themselves in wooden shields or bounce off the hardened steel of their great helms. Like a perfectly crafted machine, the armored warriors rush forward, some down through the main passages of the tent-clogged camp, others sweeping along the walls, downing archers with effortless ease. Some strike to kill, while others use the bosses of their shields or the pommels of their sword to give their hapless foes a chance to survive. Within the space of a few minutes, the camp is almost secure. The bandits are either dead or unconscious, victims of a whirlwind of bright steel. A closing cordon of drawn blades surrounds the last holdouts, among them Milanus Blackclad himself. The last few bandits are swept away by one final rush. Thunder clashes, and one of the knights is flung backwards, his sword dropped from his convulsing fingers. Then another rushes in. With a mighty blow from his shield, he sends the wizard reeling backward, right into you. You know what? Prisoners, or... Ooh, tricky. What kind of a hero are we? This is tricky. You know what? Where's my mouse? There it is. Screw him. You raise your staff high and bring it down on the staggering mage's head. There's a sharp crack as you dash the black-clad wizard's brains out. He falls to the ground, lifeless. Holy shit. Just like that, Milanus Blackclad, the would-be scourge of Kendrickstone, lies dead by your hand. I missed what achievement we got there. Dang. There's nothing left to do but tie up the prisoners, burn the bodies, and begin the long, victorious trip home. Well, look at that! We are the hero of Kendrickstone. I'm going to break here and come on back for the epilogue when we get to figure out how things played out now that we've killed him. Till next time, guys. Later.